Hey church, how's it going? I wanted to read some song with you because I'm really getting a lot out of it in my personal time and personal reading. And so today, we're talking about Psalm chapter 1. It says, the truly happy person doesn't follow wicked advice, doesn't stand on the road of sinners, and doesn't sit with the disrespectful. Instead of doing those things, these persons love the Lord's instruction, and they recite God's instruction day and night. They are like a tree replanted by streams of water, which bears fruit at just the right time, and whose leaves don't fade. Whatever they do succeeds. That's not true for the wicked. They are like dust that the wind blows away, and that's why the wicked have no standing in the court of justice, neither will sinners in the assembly of the righteous. The Lord is intimately acquainted with the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is destroyed. Man, wow, the truly happy person. You know what makes me truly happy? Wings and more. Man, I like to get the wings and tender combo with onion rings, lots of ranch. I mean, that's just a given, right? And hot garlic parmesan. Oh man, it's amazing. Follow that up with some Pepsi. Nothing better for a moment, right? Until I start feeling like I ate too much. Until my stomach starts gurgling, and I overdid it. And even then, when maybe I don't overdo it, it's just you get hungry later, and it's passing, it's fleeting, right? And this is the way of the world. It's passing and it's fleeting. The truly happy person doesn't follow wicked advice. Because wicked advice, it might be fun, it might bring some happiness for a little bit, but not true happiness. Doesn't sit on the road of sinners. Again, there might be some fun things, some instant moments of happiness. Doesn't sit with the disrespectful. It's kind of fun sometimes to be disrespectful, but then you feel bad. Then it just doesn't last. So what does a truly happy person do? It tells us. See? Man, it tells us how to be truly happy right here. Love the Lord's instruction, and they recite God's instruction day and night. Because you know what's even better than wings and more? Is reading through this Bible and learning more about God. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've just been reading, and sometimes just because I'm like, well, I have to read, I need to read, or whatever else, and just reading along, and I see these things about God, and like my spirit comes alive within me, and I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what it is, right? And like this is truly happy. That's true happiness. Not going to Wings and More or egging somebody's house. Would that be counted as disrespectful? Just trying to think of a generic thing there. But to love the Lord's instruction, and that's something that we try to stay away from, right? The Lord's instruction. Oh my goodness, that just sounds judgy, and now I'm going to have to read things, and it's going to tell me that I can't do what it is that I want to do, but it's telling you how to be what you truly want to be. So you can either follow it, or you can continue down the path of not really being who you want to be. It's your choice. God gave you that choice. And so, what are you going to choose? Choose you this day. Who will you serve? Are you going to continue to serve the evil and the people, wicked advice, road of sinners, and disrespectful? And then, what's going to happen? Well, you will have no standing in the court of justice. Man, I mean, you might have some fun. It might be a little easier because you don't have to do things that you don't want to do, that your sinful nature, right? But What's the end of it all? You don't get a standing in the court of justice. Now let's look at the other side of things. We look at God's instructions. We love the Lord's instructions, and we see how much life it gives us. We recite God's instructions day and night, and then we find what? We find true happiness. So wow, that sounds good. Okay, yeah, I got to do some difficult things and put aside some sin and temptations and say no and maybe be ridiculed by some folks, and maybe the world doesn't like me and whatever else. But even in that, I get true happiness. And then what happens? The Lord is intimately acquainted with the way of the righteous. That would be you, for following God's instructions and reciting them. I mean, right? So it's like God says, here's how to do these things. And in case you're wondering, here it is. Here's the Lord's instructions, right? Because so many times we're like, I just don't know. Here it is. Here's the instructions. God, I just want to be happy and fulfilled and satisfied. Here it is. Like, how many more times do I got to give this to you? Let's hear right here. Come on, peoples. And not only then do we know what to do and where to go and find this true happiness, we also get to be intimately acquainted with God. We have a standing in the court of justice. I mean, wow. All because we're following after the ways of God. So, Psalm 1. So good. So good. I pray that you would find peace in that you would find some encouragement to do what God is telling you to do, and know then, right? Like, that is the way to true happiness and righteousness in this intimate relationship with God. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing better than that. Even Wings and More with plenty of ranch. Doesn't even compare. All right. I love you. Be blessed.